talk about what it feels to speak in tongues. Okay. Um, when I was a Christian, I remember one time I had a cousin who introduced me to it and to Christianity, right? And he was one of those people that he was from Dominican Republic, right? In a very small village, not very small village, but it's like it's one of those like third world churches. And if you ever been to one of those third world churches, you know that those are like the fire churches, right? It's like Jamaican food from a crummy looking place are usually the best ones. And he had this anointing of God that it was really something that I've never seen before, to be honest with you. Let's go to what it is to actually speak in tongues. First of all, it speaks nothing of the person's relationship with God if they're able to speak in tongues. Let's just get that out the way. Okay. A lot of the times people get enamored by the manifestations of the spirit when in reality that's just a manifestation. Okay. And the truth is that it's not at the core of your connection with him. But speaking in tongues, the way I like to say it is this: it's like a Freudian slip that goes on for sentences. Like you're just speaking for some reason, you're trying to say a B, and it comes out as Z. And I remember the first time this happened, I was at home and I was praying and I was like feeling the presence of God. And then I just started speaking in another tongue. And no matter how hard I tried, I couldn't speak English. And when that happened, you just felt like the anointing was just oozing in the air, right? And it made the prayer experience more intense. You felt closer to God. But it's not what connects you to him. What's really going on is that the spirit is moving and it manifests itself based on the gifts that he gives you. And some people don't have that. Why? Well, because God is the one that chooses it. He gives, it's like Dragon Balls just get dispersed and it just randomly gets dispersed into random places. Some people have some gifts and some people don't. And the truth is that a lot of people, a lot of Christians get addicted to the anointing of God. They get addicted to the supernatural experience of praying. And God sometimes tests those people by removing the manifestation of the anointing, removing the speaking in tongues, removing the feeling of his presence as a way to test whether or not you're in it for him or you're in it for the experience. In Buddhism, there's something that's called banga, where your body begins to vibrate from the subatomic vibrations you're getting in touch with. And that sensation feels like a wave throughout your whole body and it becomes addictive. And in Buddhism, they say that if you start to meditate, to feel that, you start to become attached and you start to lose it. The feeling of banga is a byproduct of your connection with the body, of awareness of sensation. It is not the goal, it's something that happens as a byproduct. And so the gifts of the Spirit should not be something you seek out, it should be something that happens by accident. People who follow Jesus, they didn't like Peter, he didn't come to Jesus for the spirits of the gifts. That's just ego. He came to him to connect with him. And if you notice, he didn't the best apostles weren't the ones with the most the ones that behaved the best weren't the ones with the best gifts, right? Look at Paul. He was persecuting Christians, right? He didn't give his best gift to his most moral apostle. So we can't really judge how moral and how righteous somebody is based on how much God uses those people, right? But anyways, let's go back to the tongues, right? So it just feels like a consistent Freudian slip. And when okay, you guys might not like this when I say this, so I understand. I remember years ago, when I stopped going to church, I took DMT. You know what's crazy? When I would take DMT, I would speak in tongues when I would take DMT. And again, you guys might not believe me, and I understand if you don't believe me. I had a weird premonition that this is very similar to God. I was like, this is some there's something I remember saying this feels familiar to me. And the DMT, again, I risk losing a lot of people when I say this. The DMT entities would speak to me through my voice using speaking in tongues. And sometimes when I would sit down with people, I would take it and the entities would speak to the other person through me. And when I would speak to them in tongues, I understood what was said through the tongues. I don't know if that makes any sense. Hay alguien, me da. And no matter how hard I tried, I couldn't speak English until the anointing left, and then all of a sudden I could speak English. What's the purpose of that? It's just the manifestation of the spirit. It's something that happens when if God gives you the gift of prophecy, you're gonna start prophesying. The gift of vision, you're gonna start seeing visions, right? But it's just a sign that God is flowing through you, and it's manifesting through your faculties in whatever way God has gifted you. But it shouldn't be something you seek. What you should seek out is the love of God, a connection with Him. Because many people went to hell speaking in tongues. That's how you become corrupted as a believer, when you start to seek out experiences. Just seek out the connection with Him. And that's all you'll ever need.